Daredevil Born Again. We talked about this on Monday.
When haven't we talked about it?
Well, no, we talked about this on Monday. That we're getting a 2-episode
Yeah.
premiere. And we thought, wow, that's fucking brilliant. And then I sent you the thing with the episode lengths on. You know, the first 2 episodes at least are looking nice and lengthy. And apparently throughout, they're all going to be about 50 to 45 minutes. Which is great. That's a lot better than Disney Plus average. Now, so
5-minute an episode.
yeah, with 7-minute credits, which we discovered on WandaVision when we first watched that.
Well, that and sometimes the intro as well. Right.
Yeah. So we get a 2-episode premiere on March 4th, March 5th in the UK, and then we get episode 3 on March 11th or March 12th for us. Then we get episode 4 on March 18th or March 19th for us. And then, Kyle, we get episodes 5 and 6 on March 25th or March 26th for us. So we get a 2-episoder right in the middle. And then there's no release date for episode 7, 8 or 9 just yet. Now, you're going to want to hope they get it out just before Andor, because Andor Season 2 premieres on April 22nd. So, you're going to think they're going to kind of want to get it out before then. But do you see them doing a bundled episode and then going back to, then episode 7, episode 8, episode 9, or then do you see them bundling the last 3 episodes together? Why do you think 5 and 6 are bundled together? Me personally, I think 5 and 6 are just going to be a big story that you need both episodes for. There's some people on the less optimistic side, which is probably the side I see you falling on, is they're just 2 really short episodes, so that's why they're together. But I'd like to hope it's for narrative purpose that they put the 2 episodes together. I know Agatha started with 2 episodes and finished with 2 episodes, but yeah, we don't have release dates for the last 3. But
here's my big gripe about the short episodes and the releasing of them, of how they're sort of together. Like,
but we know these are going to be longer episodes, so it can't be it can't be the short episodes.
I don't know. It could just be, like I said, just because the length is there doesn't mean the show isn't going to have slow down to a slug. I'm not saying it's going to do that. Daredevil's already quite a slow show anyways, which is fine, and it works for that. The thing that scares me is if the show comes to like a halt in the story where you just kind of go off and do something else and it doesn't really need to happen. It's more like
slow burn works.
Stretching it out.
You just need payoff, because you're not burning to anything if there's no payoff.
But
Daredevil, the original show, it had the slow burn episodes, but there was always payoff with every episode.
Yeah. So why are they doing 2 episodes as 5 and 6 together? Like, it's kind of like, well, I thought, we're going back to that sort of format or something similar to it. So why do they need to release 2 episodes simultaneously? You know what I mean? And you could argue that, yeah, they, instead of doing like a whole hour 20 episode length, which they have done before, but mainly for like finales and stuff. But and you could argue then, you're getting this big story in these 2 episodes, this little arc, I guess you could say. And to fully flesh it out, you do need these 2 episodes hand in hand, like a part 1 and a part 2, which is fine. Shows have done that before. But because of the track record that we've had so far, I mean, Echo released it all in one day, and, it
But that was more of a, let's just get it out there, and then it's done. Then we don't want people talking about this for 5 weeks.
Yeah, and that's fine, but I don't know. Again, like we were saying, like Brave New World was a real test for Marvel Studios, and it's come out. Daredevil is like the ultimate test, I think, especially when it comes to the TV side of things. I know that they're already in like early production for the 2nd season, so they must already have good faith in this.
Filming?
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. So.
You filming?
We'll have to wait and see for ourselves. I think if episode 1 and 2 come out and they leave me quite satisfied as like an episode 1 and episode 2, I won't worry then going forward. Unless, let's say, episode 3, when it releases the week after, that kind of gets bunged down quite heavily and it's like, oh, okay, right, I'm back to being not so sure about this. But if episode 1 and episode 2 are good and are fucking great, I have no worries then. Unless episode 3 brings it down.
Well, yeah, look. I've got a feeling episode 1 is going to be, here's where the characters are now. Here is, like you said in the trailer, here's the line that were crossed. And then I think episode 2 is actually going to be like the true episode 1. If you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but...
Or what makes a bit more sense to me is like, I won't say here for spoilers because, you've had a really good theory and I completely agree with that theory. I don't want to say it here.
Yeah, especially with 2 week out now. It's...
Exactly, yeah. I don't want to say anything, but let's say there's an event that happens in this show. An event, I mean, in like, it can be anything. It can be a new thing showing up. It can be a twist in the story. It can be this, that, or the other. That's what I'm saying as an event. That event is either going to happen at the start of the show or in the middle of the show, just because of these 2 episodes joined together for 1 and 2 or 5 and 6.
I'm telling you what episode 5 and 6 is right now.
The event.
Punisher arc.
Okay.
That, to me, kind of makes... I thought probably Punisher would be like an end of season sort of thing. But if there's like Punisher had, the actual show Punisher, he had his own shit going on, and then there was like a 2 episode arc right in the middle. It's like, fuck me, everything's just weighing us down. Well, I need to sort this out. To be honest, same with Daredevil season 2 as well. He had the Punisher going on. He had the blacksmith stuff with the heroin going on, kind of linked up with the Punisher stuff. There was the Hand, Stick, Elektra. Just everything were beating him down in season 2 of Daredevil. Like, all these things at once. So I can imagine, like, episode 5 and 6 might be I'm in the middle of summer here, trying to get this Muse guy, and then fuck me, Frank's back in town. Well, maybe I help Frank with something, then Frank helps me with something. Who knows?
That's a possibility, yeah. I think there's loads of possibilities with it. Like I said, the event, you know what I'm talking about. I think that's also a possibility. There's also, you brought up, rightly, you have brought up the whole, crossing the line stuff, which we know is something in the trailer. We don't really, it's not confirmed that we see.
Yeah, because he
mentions it.
Yeah, he stops being Daredevil. So I think episode 1 will be we know why he stopped being Daredevil. That's that, and then by the end of episode 2 is building back up to him being Daredevil again, or at least coming to terms with it and having to jump back into action in some way where he don't want to.
It could be. I mean, like at the end of the day, they could do it in like a flashback episode. I mean, they've done flashback episodes in Daredevil.
Daredevil's
already.
Built on flashbacks.
Exactly.
So they can really well.
They can do that for, say, if it is for 5 and 6 or whatnot. We just don't know yet. We don't know the time frame of what's happening with this show. I mean, like I said, the only thing I'm gonna say is, like, I hope it's fucking good and I hope it's lived up to the hype and worth the wait, because it means a lot to a lot of people, and even the cast behind it have been like very vocal about, we need to get this right, otherwise what's the point? So
do you know when I were like when I were kind of like on board with this, and it's when Bernthal came back, because he said for years, I ain't coming back unless they do it right and they do justice to this character. So that's one thing that's got me like, fuck yeah. And like I said, before we move on to the next topic, which is kind of Daredevil related, and then the other one's kind of Daredevil related as well. We've got a Daredevil day to day, Kyle. Just want to say thanks to the, Save Daredevil movement. Especially when you put it into comparison against something like the Release the Snyder Cut people, who were harassing studio execs, sending death threats and stuff like that. But then you get the other side of it with the Save Daredevil movement, and we're doing charity events, just making the voices be heard. That's it. Had a nice petition, and they went around it the right way instead of threatening with violence and stuff like that. So we're 2 weeks out now, Kyle, today, and I can't wait.